Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Beginner English, the podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm so excited to be here with you today.
And I'm Tom. Emma, you sound extra happy today. What's going on?
Well, Tom, I just finished reading the most wonderful little book this morning. It was about a mouse who wanted to learn how to fly.
A mouse that wanted to fly? That sounds interesting. Was it a children's book?
Yes, it was. And you know what? Even though it was written for children, I learned 3 new words. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Perfect timing. Today's episode is all about learning English through reading simple books at home.
That's right. And before anyone thinks, oh no, simple books are for babies, let me tell you something important.
What's that, Emma?
Simple books are for smart people who want to learn English effectively. There's nothing childish about choosing the right level for your learning.
Exactly. You know, even I read simple books sometimes when I'm learning other languages.
Really, Tom? What language are you learning?
I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I started with picture books about animals. My favorite was about a sleepy bear.
See? Tom is a grown man, and he reads picture books. There's no shame in starting simple.
No shame at all. And you know what? Those picture books helped me understand basic Spanish grammar without even trying.
That's the magic of reading simple books. You learn naturally, without stress, without pressure.
So, listeners, today we're going to share all our secrets about reading simple books to improve your English.
We'll talk about what kinds of books to choose, how to read them effectively, and why this method is so powerful for learning English at home.
Plus, Emma and I are going to do some fun demonstrations. We'll show you exactly how reading works for learning.
And we promise to keep it fun. Learning English should be enjoyable, not boring.
Are you ready to discover the wonderful world of simple English books?
Let's do it.
Emma, let's start with the big question. Why should English learners read simple books instead of difficult novels?
Oh, that's easy to answer. When you read simple books, you understand most of the story. That makes you feel confident and happy.
Right. And when you feel confident, you want to read more. When you want to read more, you improve faster.
Exactly. It's like, how can I explain this? Tom, do you remember learning to ride a bicycle?
Of course, I was about 6 years old. My dad helped me.
Did your dad start by putting you on a big, fast motorcycle?
No way. He gave me a small bike with training wheels first.
Perfect. Reading simple books is like using training wheels. You build confidence and skill gradually.
That's a great analogy, Emma. And just like with bicycle training wheels, you won't need simple books forever.
Right. As you get better, you can read more complex books. But starting simple gives you a strong foundation.
What else makes simple books great for learning, Emma?
Well, they repeat vocabulary. If you're reading a story about a cat, the word cat appears many times.
Repetition is so important for learning. When you see a word multiple times in context, you remember it better.
And simple books use everyday vocabulary, words you'll actually use in conversations.
Not like some advanced books that use words you'll never need in real life.
Right. I don't need to know the word perspicacious in everyday conversation.
Wait, what does perspicacious mean?
I have no idea. That's exactly my point. Simple books teach useful words.
Emma, you just proved your own point. What about the structure of simple books?
Good question. Simple books use short sentences and clear grammar patterns.
Instead of one long, complicated sentence with 5 clauses, you get 5 short, clear sentences.
Much easier to understand. And when you understand the grammar patterns, you can use them in your own speaking and writing.
Plus, simple books often have pictures. Pictures are like secret helpers for understanding.
Oh, I love that. Pictures are secret helpers. If you don't know the word butterfly, but you see a picture of a butterfly, you learn the word immediately.
And pictures make reading more fun. Even adults enjoy books with illustrations.
Absolutely. Reading should be pleasurable, not painful.
Should we talk about the emotional benefits, Emma?
Yes. When you finish a simple book, you feel accomplished. You think, I read an entire book in English.
That feeling of success motivates you to read another book, and another, and another.
Exactly. Success builds success. It's a positive cycle.
And unlike textbooks, simple books tell stories. Stories are interesting and memorable.
Stories help you remember new words because they create emotional connections.
If you read about a sad dog who finds a happy home, you'll remember words like sad, happy, and home better.
Because the story made you feel something. Emotions help memory.
Okay, Emma, now let's talk about the different types of simple books our listeners can choose from.
Great idea. Let's start with the most obvious choice, children's books.
Children's books are fantastic for English learners. They're written to be understood by native English-speaking children, so the vocabulary is common and useful.
And they're usually short, so you can finish one in a single reading session. That gives you a sense of accomplishment.
What age group should adult English learners focus on, Emma?
I recommend books for children aged 6 to 10 years old. These books have simple plots, clear language, and often beautiful illustrations.
Perfect. What about picture books for very young children?
Those are excellent too. Picture books for ages 3 to 6 often have very few words per page, but the pictures tell most of the story.
So if you're a beginner learner, picture books can be a great starting point.
Exactly. Don't worry about what other people think. Focus on what helps you learn.
Now, what's the second type of book, Emma?
Graded readers. These are books written specifically for English language learners.
I love graded readers. They come in different levels: beginner, elementary, intermediate, advanced.
And they often take famous stories and rewrite them with simpler vocabulary and grammar.
So you might read Romeo and Juliet or Sherlock Holmes, but with easier English.
That's brilliant because you get to experience classic stories while learning English.
What's special about graded readers compared to regular children's books?
Graded readers are designed with language learning in mind. They control the vocabulary and grammar very carefully.
They make sure to introduce new words gradually and repeat them frequently.
And they often include glossaries. That means lists of new words with definitions.
Very helpful for learners. What's the third type, Emma?
Short story collections. These are books with many small stories, usually 2 to 5 pages each.
Short stories are great because you can read one complete story in 10 to 15 minutes.
And if you don't like one story, you can try a different one in the same book.
Plus, short stories often focus on one main idea or emotion, making them easier to understand.
What about fairy tales and folk tales, Tom?
Oh, excellent choice. Fairy tales like Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, and The Three Little Pigs.
These stories are perfect because most people already know the basic plot even in their native language.
So when you read them in English, you can focus on the language instead of trying to understand what happens.
And fairy tales use simple past tense, which is great grammar practice.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess. She lived in a tall castle.
Perfect example, Tom. Simple sentences, clear meaning, familiar story structure.
What about comic books and graphic novels?
Those are fantastic. The pictures support the text, making comprehension much easier.
And the dialogue in comics is usually conversational and natural.
Plus, they're fun. You don't feel like you're studying when you're reading comics.
Should we mention poetry books, Emma?
Simple poetry can be wonderful for English learners. Poems with rhymes help with pronunciation and rhythm.
And poems are usually short, so they're not overwhelming.
And children's poetry books often have playful, silly poems that make you laugh while you learn. Emma, I think it's time to show our listeners what reading simple books actually looks like for English learners.
Great idea. Let's do some demonstrations. Emma, you can be the teacher and I'll be the English learner.
Perfect. I'm going to read a simple sentence slowly and clearly. Tom, you listen and tell me what you understand.
I'm ready. Make it challenging but not too difficult.
Okay. The little rabbit was hungry, so he looked for carrots in the garden.
Okay, I understood little rabbit and hungry, and I think carrots are orange vegetables.
Exactly right. Carrots are orange vegetables. What about garden?
I'm not sure. Is it a place outside?
Yes, a garden is a place outside where people grow plants and vegetables. So the rabbit looked for carrots in the garden.
Aha, so the rabbit was hungry and went outside to find food.
Perfect! You understood the main idea even without knowing every single word.
See how that works, listeners? Emma spoke slowly, I admitted when I didn't know words, and she explained them simply.
And Tom focused on understanding the main message, not every tiny detail.
Let's do another one. This time, Emma, you be the learner and I'll read.
Okay, I'm ready to learn.
The old cat sat by the warm fire and closed her tired eyes.
I know old cat and fire, but what does tired eyes mean?
When you're tired, you want to sleep. So tired eyes means the cat's eyes wanted to sleep.
Oh, so the cat was sleepy and sat near the fire to be warm.
Exactly. You got the complete picture. The cat was comfortable and ready to sleep.
That's how context helps. Even if you don't know every word, you can understand the situation.
Let's try one more, but this time let's show how pictures can help.
Good idea. Tom, imagine there's a picture with this sentence.
Okay, I'm imagining a picture while you read.
Okay. The baker pulled fresh bread from the hot oven.
I don't know baker or oven.
Okay, but imagine you see a picture of a person in a white hat taking brown bread from a big metal box that looks hot.
Oh, a baker is a person who makes bread. An oven is the hot box where you cook bread.
Perfect. The picture taught you 2 new words without translation.
Pictures are incredible learning tools. They make abstract words concrete and visual.
And that's exactly why simple books with illustrations are so effective for language learning.
Should we demonstrate reading dialogue, Emma?
Yes, dialogue is important because it shows how people really talk.
I'll read a conversation between 2 characters. Emma, listen and tell me what's happening.
Ready.
Hello, Mrs. Brown, said little Jenny.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Replied Mrs. Brown.
I'm very well, thank you. Are you going to the market?
Yes, I need to buy some apples. I understood that. Jenny and Mrs. Brown are talking. Mrs. Brown is going to buy apples at the market.
Excellent. And you learned a polite conversation pattern. How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Dialogue in simple books teaches natural conversation patterns.
Exactly. You learn how English speakers actually communicate in daily life.
Tom, now let's give our listeners some practical advice about how to read simple books effectively.
Great. Let's start with choosing the right book. Emma, what's your first tip?
Choose a book where you understand about 80% of the words on the first page. If you understand everything, it's too easy. If you understand less than 70%, it's too difficult.
That's the Goldilocks principle. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right.
Exactly. And choose topics that interest you. If you love animals, read about animals. If you like adventure, choose adventure stories.
Interest keeps you motivated. What's your second tip, Emma?
Read aloud when you're alone at home. This helps with pronunciation and makes you more active in the reading process.
Reading aloud is fantastic practice. Your mouth learns the rhythm and melody of English.
And don't worry about perfect pronunciation. Just try your best and have fun with it.
What about dealing with unknown words?
Here's my strategy. First, try to guess the meaning from context and pictures. If you still don't understand and it seems important, write it down.
But don't stop reading to look up every single word. That breaks the flow of the story.
Right. Look up 3 to 5 new words maximum per page. More than that makes reading feel like work instead of fun.
And when you write down new words, write the whole sentence, not just the word alone.
Why is that important, Tom?
Because words have meaning in context. The sentence shows you how to use the word correctly.
Brilliant advice. What about reading speed?
Don't rush. Reading slowly is perfectly fine, especially when you're learning.
Speed comes naturally with practice. Focus on understanding, not on reading fast.
And it's okay to read the same sentence twice if you didn't understand it the first time.
Or even read the same page twice. There's no reading police who will arrest you.
Emma, you're so silly, but you're right. Take your time.
Tom, what about taking notes?
Great question. You can write a short summary after each chapter or story. Just 2 or 3 sentences about what happened.
This helps you remember the story and practice writing in English.
And you can write down your favorite sentences or expressions to use later.
Should learners use dictionaries while reading?
Use them sparingly. Try to understand from context first. If you must use a dictionary, choose a learner's dictionary with simple definitions.
And some people prefer picture dictionaries. These show images instead of just giving definitions.
Those are great for concrete nouns like butterfly, kitchen, or bicycle.
What's your opinion on rereading books, Tom?
I love rereading. The second time you read a book, you notice things you missed the first time.
And you understand more vocabulary and grammar patterns.
Plus, familiar stories feel comfortable and relaxing.
It's like visiting old friends. You know what will happen, but you enjoy the experience anyway.
Tom, let's talk about creating a reading routine. How can our listeners make reading a regular habit?
Excellent question. First, choose a specific time each day for reading. Maybe 15 minutes after breakfast or 30 minutes before bed.
Consistency is more important than duration. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week.
And create a comfortable reading space at home. A cozy chair, good lighting, maybe a cup of tea.
Make reading feel like a treat, not like homework.
What about setting goals, Tom?
Start small, maybe 1 page per day or 1 short story per week.
As you improve, you can increase your goals. Success builds confidence.
And celebrate when you finish a book. Tell your friends, write a review, reward yourself somehow.
Should people read multiple books at the same time?
For beginners, I recommend focusing on 1 book at a time. It's less confusing.
But if you get bored with one book, it's okay to try a different one. Don't force yourself to finish books you don't enjoy.
Life is too short to read boring books.
Exactly. What about keeping a reading journal?
That's a wonderful idea. Write down the books you've read, new words you learned, and your opinions about the stories.
You could also write about your favorite characters or parts of the story.
This helps you remember the story and practice writing in English.
Should people share their reading experiences with others?
Absolutely. Join online groups for English learners or talk to your friends about the books you're reading.
Discussing books helps you process and remember the content better.
And other learners might recommend great books you haven't discovered yet.
Tom, let's be honest about the challenges. Reading in a foreign language isn't always easy.
You're right, Emma. What's the biggest challenge you hear about from learners?
Frustration with vocabulary. People feel discouraged when they encounter many unknown words.
That's normal. Remember, even native speakers don't know every single word in every book they read.
The goal isn't to understand 100%. Aim for understanding the main story and enjoying the experience.
What about people who worry about making mistakes in pronunciation when reading aloud?
Don't worry about perfection. Making mistakes is part of learning. Every mistake teaches you something.
And remember, you're reading at home, alone. Nobody is judging your pronunciation.
Another challenge is choosing appropriate books. Some learners pick books that are too difficult.
When in doubt, choose something easier rather than harder. You can always progress to more difficult books later.
What about people who think simple books are embarrassing?
That is just pride getting in the way of progress. Smart people choose tools that help them learn effectively.
Would you be embarrassed to use a bicycle while learning to ride instead of jumping straight onto a motorcycle?
Of course not. So why be embarrassed about reading simple books while learning English?
Some people also worry about reading speed.
Speed isn't important for language learning. Understanding and enjoyment are what matter.
Reading slowly allows your brain to process new vocabulary and grammar patterns more effectively.
What about learners who want to analyze every sentence like it's a grammar textbook?
That ruins the fun. Read for pleasure first. Grammar understanding will develop naturally.
Save the detailed analysis for your formal grammar studies. When reading simple books, focus on the story.
Tom, should we share some success stories from our listeners? I think it would encourage everyone.
Wonderful idea. Remember Carlos from Spain?
Oh, yes. He started with picture books about farm animals, and now he reads teenage adventure novels.
It took him about a year of daily reading, just 20 minutes per day.
What I loved about Carlos's story is that he wasn't ashamed to start with very simple books.
And he chose topics he genuinely enjoyed: animals and farming.
His passion for the subject matter helped him push through difficult vocabulary.
Then there's Linda from Thailand. She improved her English by reading fairy tale collections.
That's right. She said fairy tales helped her understand English story structures and common expressions.
And because she already knew the stories from her childhood, she could focus on learning the English language.
Now she reads contemporary romance novels and understands most of them.
These success stories show that reading simple books really works, but it requires patience and consistency.
And both Carlos and Linda emphasize that they read for enjoyment, not just for study.
That's crucial. When you enjoy reading, you naturally read more. When you read more, you improve faster.
We also heard from Ahmed in Egypt. He learned English by reading comic books about superheroes.
Comics were perfect for him because the pictures supported the text, making comprehension easier.
And the dialogue in comics taught him natural conversation patterns.
Now he can watch movies without subtitles and understand most of the dialogue.
These stories prove that there are many different paths to English fluency through reading.
The key is finding books that match your interests and your current level.
And being patient with yourself as you gradually improve.
Tom, let's talk about how reading simple books builds confidence in English learners.
That's such an important topic. When you finish your first English book, no matter how simple, you feel amazing.
It's proof that you can understand English. That feeling of accomplishment is incredibly motivating.
And every book you finish makes the next one seem less intimidating.
Reading also improves your general comfort with English text. You stop being afraid of English words on a page.
Exactly. Many learners feel anxious when they see a lot of English text. Reading simple books gradually reduces that anxiety.
What about vocabulary confidence?
When you encounter the same words multiple times in different stories, you start to really own those words.
They become part of your active vocabulary, not just words you recognize.
And you start to understand how words work together in natural combinations.
Reading also builds cultural confidence. You learn about English-speaking cultures through stories.
That's so important. Understanding cultural references makes you feel more connected to the language.
And simple books often introduce cultural concepts in accessible ways.
Plus, reading success transfers to other English skills. If you can read, you feel more confident about speaking and writing, too.
It's all connected. Reading feeds into overall English competence.
Tom, we're approaching the end of our episode. Let's give our listeners some final encouragement and practical tips.
Perfect. First tip, start today. Don't wait until you feel ready or until you find the perfect book.
Second tip, start smaller than you think you should. Better to succeed with an easy book than struggle with a difficult one.
Third tip, make reading pleasurable. Choose comfortable surroundings. Maybe have a snack. Make it a special time.
Fourth tip, don't judge your book choices. If you want to read about princesses and dragons, read about princesses and dragons.
Fifth tip, be patient with yourself. Language learning takes time, and that's completely normal.
And remember, every single page you read in English is progress. Every new word you learn is an achievement.
You don't have to become fluent overnight. You just have to read one page today, then another page tomorrow.
Before you know it, you'll have read dozens of books and your English will have improved dramatically.
Reading simple books at home is one of the most effective, enjoyable, and affordable ways to learn English.
You don't need special equipment, expensive courses, or perfect conditions. You just need a book and curiosity.
And remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent English speaker started with simple words and simple sentences.
You're not behind, you're not too slow, and you're not too old. You're exactly where you need to be in your learning journey.
So go to your local library, browse online bookstores, or ask friends for recommendations.
Find a simple book that makes you smile, makes you curious, or makes you excited to read the next page.
Then sit down in your favorite spot at home, open to page 1, and begin your reading adventure.
Every word you read in English is a step toward better English. Every story you finish is proof of your growing abilities.
We believe in you, and we know you can do this. Reading simple books will transform your English skills and your confidence.
So start small, be consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the wonderful world of English stories.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Beginner English, the podcast.
We hope you feel inspired to start your reading journey today. Remember, we're cheering you on every step of the way.
Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
Happy reading, everyone. See you next episode.
Goodbye.